Hello and welcome to Cakes for Dayz. Today we are learning how to make these delicious Oreo cupcakes with a yummy cream cheese frosting. Now to start, the tools and equipment that we're going to need are, we have cocoa powder and coffee, sugar and flour. Now in my flour I've added my baking powder and my salt and mixed it together. We've also got eggs, vinegar, vanilla extract, a bowl of Oreos which I've taken the tops off of. And we also have for our decoration butter, sugar, icing sugar and some cream cheese and the other half of the Oreos. Now to get started we're going to preheat our oven. Now in our bowl here we've got our chocolate. We're just going to add our cocoa powder to this. Make sure we get everything into the bowl. Don't want to waste any. Now to this we're just going to add our hot coffee. We're just going to stir this through to form a thick paste. Now as I'm stirring here I realise that I've been talking for way too long and I need to heat this coffee up. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for about 1 minute and I'll be back in a sec, just to make sure that, as you can see, this is not melting. So we're back. Alright, here we are. As you can see, it's now steaming. I'm just going to keep giving it a couple of stirs just to make sure that all the chocolate is melted. You just want to make sure we've got no lumps there. Right, now that we've made sure it's all melted, we're just going to put this in the fridge for 20 minutes. Alright, and we're back. Now, as you can see, it's all melted through, so we're going to put this straight into our big mixer's bowl. Just scrape it all in, we don't want to waste any of that lovely chocolate. Now to this chocolate mixture, we're just going to add our eggs one at a time. The full list of ingredients is going to be in the description down below. Okay, so next we're just going to add our vinegar. Don't worry if you spill it a little bit like I did just there. All the vinegar does is react with our baking powder to make it rise. Next we add the vanilla extract. Okay, and lastly we add the oil. Now don't worry about the amount of oil here, it seems like a lot, but remember we have no butter in this recipe, so that's why we're using oil. Okay, now I put my bowl on my mixer, I've got my whisk attachment, so we're just going to put this down, setting it to a low speed to start with, just to get it nice and incorporated, and once it starts getting incorporated we're just going to speed it up until it's all mixed through. There. Now that it's all combined, I'm just going to turn up our mixer slightly just for a little bit, just to be extra sure, turn it off, and now we're just going to add all of our dry ingredients. As you can see I have a little bit of trouble holding the camera with one hand and lifting up my mixer. They are heavy. So we're just going to add all of our dry ingredients in. So there goes our flour mixture and then our sugar. And then we're just going to mix this all together. get some lovely air bubbles in there. Right, now we're fully combined. What we're going to do is we're going to take out Oreos that I mentioned earlier, and we're going to put one of these cut out Oreos in the bottom of each cup. This makes a lovely surprise for anyone biting into it. They don't expect to have a lovely Oreo in there. Now, as you can see, one of my Oreos there was broken. If that happens, that's fine, because we just put it in. Doesn't matter. Okay, now that we've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to fill our cupcake liners now. I like to use an ice cream scoop to make sure that all my cupcake cases are filled the exact same, so I get an identical rise across all my cupcakes. It just gives it a bit more of a professional look. We're going to fill these 2/3 full, just to make sure that we get a good even rise there. Now I'm just going to tap these on the bench a little bit. That just makes sure that we've got no hidden air pockets inside of our cupcake liners. Now don't worry, you will have some mix left over. I find it's much nicer to have too much than too little mix. So we're going to bake these now for 20 minutes, and then we're going to leave them to cool for about 1 hour to 2 hours, just to make sure that we don't have any heat that might melt our icing. Okay, so while our cupcakes are in the oven or cooling, we're going to just prepare some of the decoration. So you get your other half of your Oreos there, we're going to get a rolling pin, and we're just going to mash them. Now if you've got a food processor or a blender, this makes this 10 times easier, because trust me, this took a long time. So I'm just going to skip forwards for you until it's all complete. Okay, and if you've still got some large lumps in there, so we're just going to get our hands in there and just break up some of those larger lumps, just to make sure they don't get stuck in our piping bag. Okay, lovely, so we're going to put that to one side. Next, just going to get some full-size Oreos. You can never have too many Oreos. I'm pretty sure I bought 4 packets of Oreos for this, and me and my boyfriend were just eating them for the rest of the day. So we're just going to cut these in half, and then put them to one side. If they break a little bit, doesn't matter, it's all going to get hidden by the icing anyway. Okay, so we're just going to prepare this lovely cream cheese frosting. It's my favourite kind of buttercream, definitely. So get ready for our mixer. What we're going to do is we're going to add our butter first. Now I know this seems like a lot of butter, but I actually made 24 cupcakes, so this is double the amount that you're going to need. So next we're going to add our cream cheese to this butter. Okay, now we're just going to start mixing. We're going to mix these on their own until they're well incorporated, and then we're going to add the icing sugar after that. Now once these are mixed, I'll be back. Okay, so here we have our lovely buttercream. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take those Oreo crumbs that we made earlier, and we're going to add them to our mixture. Now we're just going to stir this buttercream until those Oreo crumbs are lovely and combined. It gives you a lovely Oreo taste throughout the whole frosting. There, now as you can see, it's well combined. We now have a sort of grey tinge to our frosting. We're just going to set this off to one side. Got to get our piping bag. Now, for this cupcake I like to use a star tip, but any tip will do, even just an open bag. So I'm just going to measure the piping tip on the end of my bag, just so I can make sure that I cut it at the right level. So we're just going to snip the end of our piping bag there. I'm just going to put our piping tip inside. Right, now to fill this with cream cheese, I'm just going to fold this over my hand. For beginners, it might be easier if you fold this over a cup to fill it, but if you just follow what I do here, it's not really that difficult. So we're just going to hold the piping bag in one hand, get our spatula, and just spoon it into the open part of our hands there. Then we're going to fold the bag up, shake it to make sure all the icing falls down to the bottom, give it a squeeze to get rid of any air, twist the bag so nothing comes out the top, move our icing out of the way so we can see what I'm doing here. Just grab our freshly cooled cupcake. Now we're just going to do a simple swirl. So starting from the outside, just going to swirl inwards and up and squeeze down to finish in a point, like that. And we're just going to add our cut up Oreo just into the side as a lovely finishing touch there. So I'll just show you that one more time. Okay, so starting from the outside, swirling in, squeezing down to finish with a point, and just adding our Oreo there. And that's it. Super simple, super yummy, super delicious. It's my first video of this type, so if you like it, please leave me a comment down below, and please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.